Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about what we need you to do to prepare for winterization. We need you guys to lower the water. The reason for this is it's just time consuming and it doesn't take much skill to do it, and for us to just sit at the job site watching water drain is just too costly for you guys. So we have you guys lower the water and prep it for us to come and winterize the pool. So this pool needs to be lowered. What we have to do is we have to lower it below those return jets. Most of the time the jets are all at the same level, but you want to make sure you can find the lowest one, and then we'll lower it below that jet. So what we need to do that is we come over to the equipment pad. All right, so this pool's running on regular filter mode. What we need to do is turn it off. This pool turns off with the filter pump button. You may turn it off with that. You may have to turn off the breaker. Every pool is a little bit different, but this pool, it's actually in freeze mode, so we cannot do it with this because the temperature right now is 24 degrees. With an easy touch panel, it won't let you turn the pump off when it's below freezing. So what we're gonna do, turn it off at the breaker. We are gonna turn this to waste. So that will drain the water through the waistline. We need to close the skimmer valves. The reason for that, and leave your drain open. Most of the time, the drain's on the middle, the skimmers are on the sides. Sometimes they'll be labeled, sometimes they won't. You just gotta know which one is your drain, because you have to leave the drain open, leave the skimmers closed. The reason for that is, let's say we have the skimmers open and we're draining the water. Once that water level gets to the bottom of the skimmer, it's gonna start allowing air to get into that skimmer line, and you're gonna lose prime to the pump, and your water level will never get below the skimmer. So we need to close your skimmers, keep your main drain open, put it on waste, and then we're gonna drain the pool. So we gotta turn this breaker back on. It will probably throw me into an alarm right here. Okay. And now we're draining. Once we get below the return lines, I want to be about this much lower than the return lines, just an inch or so. So when we're blowing out, we don't have to worry about water like splashing back into the return line. Just want to be a little bit lower than the return line. You can do one of two things. If you want to keep your water circulating, you just turn your pump off, bring this back to filter, and then just keep the system going, just with the drain open, keeping the skimmers closed. If you rather just keep your system off once you've got it down, you turn this back to filter, close every single valve, then turn your breaker off. You can't just turn this off because these are on a schedule, so the next day it will turn back on. We don't want it to turn back on if you don't want the system running. You have to make sure your pump breaker is off. The reason why I want you to close every single valve and put this back to filter is because I've seen it to where it will just gravity siphon the rest of the water out of the pool. We don't want that, so we want to make sure it's closed, back to filter, breaker off. So that's what you need to do to prep this. On auto cover pool, you just leave the cover open. I don't want you to operate this cover opening and closing when the water level is below your return jets. So you need to open your cover, drain the water, leave the cover open. Once we winterize the pool, on an auto cover pool, we leave the cover open. I want you to raise the water back up just below your skimmer opening. I want it just below that skimmer faceplate. And the reason for that is I need this cover resting on the pool water. You'll never have any issues with this cover as long as that cover is resting on water, because the reason that is you get a crazy snowstorm I want that snow to be resting on the water that will eventually turn to ice. I don't want it to be draping in to where all that weight is just sitting on the cover and it's not being supported by anything underneath. Because when that happens, it starts to put too much strain on the guides and the fabric that's up on the guides. And I don't want to have anything happen to your pool to where I just want you to raise that water back up just below the skimmers. The reason why I don't want to go into the skimmers is because I don't want water to be in that skimmer if we can avoid it. I don't want it in that skimmer because I don't want the water to freeze and expand and crack the skimmer. We do things to prevent that. We do antifreeze jugs to put inside the skimmer through the bottom and through the throat of the skimmer to protect that, but I still would rather not have water, like us intentionally put water into that skimmer. So we want to keep it below the skimmer, then close the cover. Then I want you to put the cover pump back on the cover, turned on. I want that cover pump on the pool the entire winter. It will not damage the cover pump. Once it rains or it snows, that thing won't turn on until everything melts, and then it's just water on your cover, and then that thing will pump everything off. It's designed to be on your cover the entire winter. It won't damage it. On a safety cover pool, we recommend you raise the water back up. It's not as crucial because that cover, it's better for the springs to set on ice on those heavy snowstorms, but it's not gonna necessarily damage anything with the pool. It may just kind of stretch out the springs. So we encourage you to raise the water up. If you don't, it's not going to be super crucial. If you had a really wide pool, I'd probably say, yeah, just raise it up because it does put a little extra strain on your springs that are attached to the cover. But also for prepping the pool, bring your cover bag. If you have a winter mesh cover, bring it out. Most of the time, the plugs are going to be inside that bag, all the winterizing plugs that we put into the skimmer and the returns and all that. If you have like a separate tote or anything, make sure you bring that out. You just want to make sure you bring everything out that's for winterization. And then also, if you have an autofill for your pool, this pool has an autofill. All I need you to do is turn off the valve, because if you have that thing open still and you're draining the pool, it's just gonna start feeding water back to the pool. So we want to make sure that valve is closed. There we go, that is closed. On that type of valve, when it's perpendicular to the line, it's closed. When it's parallel, it's open. Remember, on those Pentair and CMP valves, those valves are a little bit different. When they're perpendicular to the line, they're open. When they're parallel, they're closed. I'll walk over there to explain that to you. All right, these valves, when they're parallel, they are closed. When they're perpendicular, they're open. Wherever it says off is where that gate valve is. Those are the valves that I was talking about, that are like, these are like the traditional valves. Like these are 45% open. You can close it like that or open it like this. Everything else is good to go. I encourage you guys take your chases out of the pool, just so it gets stored where you want them. If they're still in the pool, we'll take them out, but I'd rather you guys take them out just so you put them where you need them. And then that is it. If you have any questions about prepping your pool, don't hesitate to call us, and we'll get everything answered. All right, you guys have a great day.